when you look at the human body, or you look at photos of humans, and you look at their molecular structure as it becomes physical, and you look at the soul, there is a life that is in the human body, and when the life or the soul is departed, it is a lifeless body. It is almost like the power or the energy of the soul is that the body cannot contain it, and I keep coming to that point. But what makes a human angry that would, or make a human cruel, make a human do things that will harm themselves and each other? Is that an angry soul? Or is it it's like the body is weak, but the soul is strong, but the anger, or which is a human emotion, it seems as though that something is off keel. That maybe the soul that was naturally good becomes angered at the body, maybe because the body is not doing what the soul wants it to do, then maybe the soul becomes angry. It is interesting to me to see how humans will participate in destructive behaviors, where that the soul that is in the human body is one that is come to give life, but yet the humans will misappropriately use that life that is in the body and take without understanding the life that is in them, or the life that is in others, and see it as of no value, and see it as a waste. It is kind of interesting, man, it really is. But I think that when it comes to transitioning, that the body is not sufficient enough for the soul to remain in it for an extended amount of time. So it could possibly help the grieving process if we know that the soul, or the life of the soul that is in the body, that the body is not sufficient enough to hold the life of the soul So the soul will depart from the body because it is not sufficient enough. Its molecular structure of the physical, the molecular structure of the body, it's just not sufficient enough. And that's just the way it is. Interesting. But the soul is, excuse me, is eternal. The consciousness is eternal. So there is no mystery. You seem to be almost like refined particles, meaning the molecular structure of the physical body. And in comparison to the molecular structure, if I may use this, of energy in this universe or galaxy. And you do have the earth, you have the wind, you have fire, you have the elements of remains, the elements of remains, or the remaining elements, whatever, how we want to use it. And remember, we get the word associate the word elementary, and something that is meant to be, or something that could be minted, considered to be a coin. And saying that is to take from the elements is something that we can learn, the passion with the fire, the sensitivity with the water in which we communicate. And the earth it yields fruit that we have as grounding, and it produces a crop. But what is most important is something that is habitable, and it takes a percentage of I can't think of the word to use, carbon dioxide, hydrogen, something else, for something to be habitable, and at a certain percentage. And in that percentage, those say energies, they don't have to be numerically equal. One could be 40%, one could be 30, other could be 20. The thing is that what's most important is that they work together to make something exist, or something to become habitable. And in this environment, we can learn from that we don't get into social comparison. We don't get into any form of classification, if I may use that language, where one use more than what is needed, because in closing, the purpose of a square is not to take more than what is needed. Be on the square.